Last week, the corporate press was filled with stories promoting a group of doctors, numbering around, 1,500, who all signed a petition claiming that RFK Jr.'s confirmation as the next Health and Human Services Secretary would, literally kill millions of people. There's just one problem with that. It was fake news. I bet you guessed that, right? The group isn't even real. Here's our friend Texas Lindsay reporting on the details of that group on her Twitter page. She wrote, quote, Bill Gates was caught hiding behind a shell organization he funded to sway Congress and public opinion with false and misleading headlines to smear Robert Kennedy Jr., exposes Gates as a weak and desperate man who has a lot to lose if transparency and truth prevail. Bill Gates, there's that awful man, again, manipulating things behind the scenes to benefit himself at our own expense. Our next guest, Dr. Peter McCullough, is the Chief Scientific Officer for the Wellness Company and has been one of those fantastic voices in the medical health industry, actually pushing therapeutics and supplements and health that is good for your body. Thank you so much, Dr. McCullough. I would say you're the exact opposite of Bill Gates.
Well, thank you. And it's been such a terrible time for America and the world through the pandemic. Now, really a bright ray of light with RFK coming up for his Senate confirmation.
They've kind of put him at the back burner of these confirmation hearings, right? This has been the strategy from the Trump administration because they felt like they wanted to get their easy ones. You might say none of them were super easy, but some of their givens in first. We've had the confirmation of Pete Hegseth, Kristi Noem. We had agriculture, I think, is up now. So several other confirmations, 5 to date, have went through. Now you have RFK Jr. finally getting his confirmation hearing. It seems like they're throwing really everything they have at him. But if this is the best that Bill Gates has, which is a little surprising for me given all the money and influence that he does have, especially in the corporate media. But if this is the best he has, that seems to bode well for RFK Jr. as he goes into his confirmation. What do you think?
It's going to be the battle of RFK's, political life. Liberal Senator Bernie Sanders held a vaccine promotion panel last week in the Senate building. And he brought in, doctors who are on FDA committees, pharmaceutical panels, all promoting the vaccine. And in fact, Sanders said that RFK would take us back to childhood mortality around the turn of the 18th to 19th century, where childhood mortality was nearly 20%. So you can see the ridiculousness that Sanders and Gates, those on the left, the level of extreme positioning and ridiculous statements, fear tactics to try to get America to, not support Kennedy. And I think the feeling is among the populace is that Kennedy has a full support of America.
I think not only does he have the full support of America, I think that if he is not confirmed, there will be lots of backlash. And as you noted, the line is that he will increase childhood mortality to, going back 100 years. But all these people who say that are major stakeholders for the most part, right, in the big pharma, big ag world. In fact, RFK has called out Bill Gates for being a shareholder in that world. Take a listen.
I know most about Gates, because I've written a book about him, and that what he calls philanthrocapitalism, which is you use philanthropy to make yourself rich, and you use it strategically, and that's what he's done again and again. He's gotten control of the World Health Organization so that they mandate vaccines all over the world, and the companies that make those vaccines are Gates is, in many of them, the major shareholder.
Now, we understand why Bill Gates says that, right, or why he's against RFK Jr., but you also have Senators Lindsey Graham, who said last month that he'd vote against confirming RFK Jr. You have also Senators Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell, also seeming to oppose RFK Jr. And in the Republican camp, because that's what I'm focusing on here, you also have I would say, disgraced Vice President Mike Pence leading a funded group opposed to RFK Jr., with Rupert Murdoch also opposing RFK Jr. So why is it that conservative, so-called Republican senators, the former vice president, the head of Fox News, what vested interest do they have to be against RFK Jr.?
Corruption is so widespread and deep. Remember that media outlets depend on pharmaceutical advertising. Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb, who's on the board of Pfizer, said he was going to go one by one and lobby these senators. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has been shock and awe. We're currently at 300 executive orders. We've just had our first White House press briefing by Carolyn Leavitt, and she was an A+. I think right now the senators are flooded with information. They're probably reeling. They may not even be prepared for tomorrow.
You know what? That's an excellent point. I too felt like Caroline Leavitt performed very well in that press briefing. What I noted, because I've sat in that room so many years, and I realized that it's mostly my same colleagues. Most of the people are still there that I sat in there with. They were really on their heels. They couldn't do the normal gotcha. So I too think that's a good sign for the confirmation process of RFK Jr. I do, before we run out of time, I want to talk a little bit about this Operation Stargate. There's the focus on finding cancer therapies through AI and mRNA. I think there's a lot of disappointed people. A lot of the people who are supporting RFK's confirmation and were really on board with the collaboration of Maha and MAGA that are concerned, because what we really wanted to see was more of a focus on therapies like maybe ivermectin and Thinbin for the treatment of cancer, or other more naturopathic avenues of treating cancer. Do you think that that will still be allowed to happen when you have the tech bros, who, mind you, are not doctors, okay, over here saying we're going to cure cancer with mRNA and AI? How can those two coexist in this ecosphere that we find ourselves?
But we saw again a development with DeepSeek out of China, sending a shockwave through the AI community. So Trump needs to, bring the AI leaders close to him in this AI race, and AI will improve medical care. It will improve cancer care, no doubt about it. It's so complicated. The information is so dense, from the clinical history, the genetics, proteomics, molecular biology. And probably what AI will do is it'll help better triage patients for surgery, for small molecule therapy, advanced monoclonal therapy. It probably won't be a jump to a messenger RNA product, as Larry Ellison pointed out. But I wouldn't see this as a bad development at all. It was probably just poorly presented. It would have been better to have a leading oncologist to present the hope for AI.
That's basically what Ed Dowd said as well. He suggested Larry Ellison is one who often gets over his skis and sells something that he doesn't have to sell yet. And he said he felt like that was probably what this was a case of. Apparently, he's very well known for that in the finance and tech communities. But so just to clarify, you do think there's a positive role for AI in medical care?
Oh, for sure. It's so hard to synthesize all the information, particularly in cancer, and then make the right decisions. We need AI to be reading PET scans and CT scans, ultrasounds, the molecular biology, again, which gets repeated over time because the assessments get better and better and the treatment's very complicated. So we need AI assistance, but it's not going to be a jump to a single messenger RNA vaccine. That's a hopeless strategy. Messenger RNA products will be used in toxic combination chemotherapy in trials. They already are, but they're not going to be a panacea.
Yeah. Well, look, the issues with health and making America healthy again were one of the top items on the platform that led to the mandate given to Donald Trump. It's an exciting time. I am feeling hopeful about RFK's confirmation as well, and it'll be exciting to see what he's able to do as the head of HHS. Dr. McCullough, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for jumping in with us. And of course, I'll also remind our viewers, if you're looking for great supplements, or if you took the jab and you want to, try to improve, mitigate the effects, you can always go to twchealth or twc.health, twc.health. It's so good to see you.
Thank you.